I'm going to jump back into the picture because I have another congressman who's just about to join us. And as the mood picks up, Congressman John Garamendi, thank you very much for talking to us.
Good to be here.
Yes, you're now going live across to our viewers in India who are waking up bright and early to watch this event at the SAP Arena.
Well, this is a great event. You can tell by the roar of the crowd out there. They're looking forward to meeting and seeing the Prime Minister. Very, very important visit. Important visit here to the Silicon Valley, which is seriously connected to India.
Yes, they are seriously connected to India, but they've also contributed quite a bit to America. And this bonhomie between the President and the Prime Minister, is it translating into a change or a shift in U.S. policy?
The U.S. policy in the past has shifted to India, and we need to have a very strong relationship with India for many, many reasons. It's a huge country, a major economic factor, a major force in the Asia, and a major force here in the United States. Look at the diaspora. We have, I think, half of India here.
Well, you've seen games at the SAP Arena. You've seen crowds at the SAP Arena cheering and rooting for players. But have you ever seen an event like this?
No, not here, not in this stadium. This is really, really spectacular.
When I say for the political leadership, because you've seen we've had Beyonce and performances galore here at the SAP Arena, but for a political leader coming across from a different country all the way to the West Coast, and you have 50,000 people wanting to get into a center that holds about 20,000.
The rest are going to be outside watching on the big TV screens. Now, there's a very big excitement. This is the Prime Minister of a significant country. We have millions of Indian immigrants that have come here generations ago, and they're connected. They stay connected to India. And here's a chance for them to see the Prime Minister, listen to his speech, and connect back to the country. There's also many, many people here who have contacted me that are looking for the economic opportunities that go back and forth between the United States and particularly California and India.
What's your perspective in terms of the push from the Prime Minister? Do you see a shift in the attitude of the Indian government? And do you think that it's going to work, especially with the business community here? Because even though they might have Indian roots, they are very strongly American, especially the Indian Americans, because they feel for, because they believe their future was made in India, in America, their careers were made in America. Yes, they want to give back to the country, but do you believe this thrust for a digital India, for connectivity, this makes sense?
Well, we already know it. We already have seen that happen. We've seen the outsourcing to India of many, many types of jobs. A lot of software now comes from India. It may start here, the initial design, and then it is completed in India. So there's been a very, very powerful connection between California and India that's gone on for a long time. And there are many recent immigrants to this state, to California, that are the entrepreneurs. You go through the streets of Silicon Valley and you'll find a very significant percentage of the startup businesses are Indian immigrants, first generation. They came here to study at Stanford or Berkeley, and they planted their roots here. They've created their businesses here, and part of that business connection goes back to India for some of the work, perhaps software, perhaps some of the other kinds of activities that are easily done over the communication systems of today.
Now, let me ask you something. It's politically turbulent times in America too. You're building up to the elections in 2016. You see winds of change blowing, or how do you see the outlook? And are the eventual results going to influence how America looks at India?
Well, we're going to see how things turn out. We certainly see the Republican Party going extraordinarily conservative and very, very anti-immigrant. That'll have an effect on the crowd here. Most of these people that are in this center are first, second generation, and they have a need to see that immigration continue, and so does our economy. So the Republican Party is really pushing away immigrants. That's a big problem for them. It's very good for those of us that are Democrat. We also know that there are domestic issues here within the United States that go back to India. I represent the Central Valley, the Sacramento Valley. We have a very, very large population of immigrants, Sikhs, Punjabs, who have settled in the Central Valley. And they have very serious concerns about the Indian government's relationships with minorities in India. And so that's an issue that plays from the United States back to India and plays in the politics of both countries.
Right. Congressman, I have to make a move on because I've been asked by my control room to move on to the atmospherics. It's building up. But wonderful talking to you. Really, really appreciate your perspective, and thank you very much for talking to us.
It's a very good connection that America has with India. Not to say that there are no problems. Those will be addressed.
Well, let's hope they're addressed and soon.
My pleasure.
Congressman, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.